Hey, welcome back to Freedom Algo, everybody. All right. OBS is trying to update, so I told it to remind me later, so hopefully that's not a problem. Because sometimes it can be a little finicky. So I'm just making sure that we are all good. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. Give it a second for everybody to hop in. All right, let me expand this out. So I'm going to zoom out real quick, talk about the day and the structure here. So basically this morning I did draw a range from the high to the low. Now we didn't break back below the midline pretty much the whole morning, and then we went higher. So I think it's just overall more of like an uptrend. Now you can draw a measured move like this, and that gives us kind of our target up here, which I think lines up pretty close to the all-time high. What is the all-time high? It's like, I think it's over here somewhere. Yeah, let me just draw the all-time high on here. All right, pretty close to the all-time high. That would be the target, pretty much. So anyway, we don't need the measured move really on here. It's basically the all-time high. So I ended up drawing this kind of funny. Like I had this downtrend. There's a close outside and a new low. I did draw this as a possibility, but this is already a close outside new low, and then it reversed. Now I had to keep on changing the trend throughout. We kind of had to play the micro trends. And this morning there's a few setups. There's a few setups that I think like you could maybe argue for that I just didn't really mark because I just thought they weren't really ideal. So here's one, for example. We had this little down move and we hadn't made a new low yet. There is a second entry there, but I don't think you want to take that second entry because you already had this move up, a close outside, and a move to a new high. So taking a second entry here is kind of risky, and especially in the down channel. Now it does work, but I just don't think it's worth it. Now when you get an equal high 1, 2, 3 there, and you basically have a triple test, and then you get a lower high, this is one that I thought about marking. It's basically a triple test and lower high. The reason I didn't mark it originally is just because you don't have a ton of space here. I think you have enough to get scalped out at the low, but it's just a little bit dicey, and you can see it, you would have been sitting sideways for a second before it worked. So I'll mark it, but I didn't think it was ideal. So it's there. So just letting you know, like I didn't think it was an ideal setup. Then we get a higher low here. It's basically a triple test, but you don't have a new low made. You don't know for sure that it's going to do what it did here, where it just kind of shoots up. I looked at this two ways. I looked at this part as a channel like this, and then I also drew this blue line as a possible slightly wider channel. So because you do get a close outside new high, but this kind of looked like a full, like this was all one channel. So when it came down and gave us a first entry, second entry long, right off the EMA, I think that that's reasonable. I don't think it's perfect because it's pretty high up at that point. We just came off of the yesterday's close there, but it does bounce. It's a nice candle. It is a close outside and a new low on the downtrend, so it does qualify as a long. I just didn't think it was ideal, but it's there. Then it reverses really aggressively with the news. And then we get a higher low here. So I know some people in the paid community did take this, and or at least one person did. It's reasonable because it is a 1, 2, 3 triple test with a higher low. You know, it's a really more than a triple test because you tested it once, twice, 3, 4. It's kind of like a fifth test and a higher low. The only problem is when you have a channel down like this, a lot of times you're going to get the new low first before it just reverses. So you're taking some risk there to go long. It is a really nice bar, and it is playing the range rules of the lows there, but I just don't love the way that channel is. Now, you could argue the channel was tighter and there is a close outside, but I don't think so. I think you're stretching the realm of the possibility there. So I just think you have to treat that as it's a higher low, but you didn't have a channel playing out. So sometimes the higher low is all you get, though. It doesn't make a new low. Technically, there's a failure here because you have a first entry. Well, it sort of happens up here, I guess. So never mind. You're not really looking to take a trade there. So you wait for this to make. This ends up making a new high right here. Pulls back, makes one more leg up. Yeah, I don't think you want to short that. Comes down, and there's nothing really happening here. There is a possible trend line that you could draw now from this low through here, and then from the lows down here through this area. So you have these kind of bigger trend lines, and we just kept trending higher. So there's a short-term trend, close outside, it moves to a new high. There's a kind of a little bit of a wider trend here. I do think you could take this second entry long. This is one of the better setups. The only reason I didn't love this is, again, it came off the possible range high right here. So you just came off the range high. And you don't know for sure that the trend is going to continue there, or that it's going to make like some sort of lower high in reverse after hitting the range high like that. So I think you need to be careful taking a trade there. Anyway, it does work. It does come off this trend line, so I think it's reasonable. It's not a high risk bar, I don't think. How many ticks is it? Only 7 tick bar, so pretty decent one right there. Comes up, fails here to go through the range, gives you a lower high. That's tempting. But again, this is what I mean. Like, sometimes you got to wait for the trend to play out. Now, it would have worked for a scalp, but it would have been dangerous. And then it does make a new high. Now, after this one, you now have this channel played out. Close outside, new high. And then you get a lower high. And it looks like a lower high after a failed breakout. You also have a double bottom here. So you could kind of look at it like a second entry short. I think it's really a lower high after a failed breakout. It's not ideal, but it's a small bar. It's 5 tick bar. Really low risk. And you have room to get back to test the level. Comes down. It's a first entry. Second entry long, but no good signal bar there. There is a higher low, but I don't think you want to go long there either. And then you have this triple test kind of happening here. You kind of have a first entry, sort of like a second entry short that fails right there off of these lows. But it's really just like a triple test. I think some people asked me about a trade somewhere in here as a failure. Maybe it was this one, like a first entry, second entry short failure. But it's not really where you look for a failure below the EMA like that. If you counted this as a double bottom and looked at this like a first entry, second entry short failure, and you went long above this candle, still, I think you're risky there because you're at this range that you just kind of looked like you failed out of, and you don't know for sure that this trend is going to continue. It's pretty weak looking, the trend overall. It keeps on having these corrections and moves up, but it's like you don't know for sure that this isn't going to just fail down now, and that was the fail out of the top of the range. So you're not certain there of what that's going to do. And so I think you have to be careful with that trade. Then it goes up, comes down. You get a first entry, second entry long right here, but you don't want to take that either because this doesn't have a new low. This one is a close outside new low of this channel, but we don't have a new low on this channel. You just broke out of this little up channel that we had drawn that was from this area here. You know, from this area. So you just broke out of that. I want to zoom out real quick. Is it possible that there's something flatter? Like maybe this channel was always in play off of here. I don't like to have to keep moving it. I just think you're stretching things. It didn't quite get back to this wider trend line. It got really close right there. We still don't know for sure if that's even the trend. Because it just seems like we keep on making these little flat channels. Stuff like this. We keep making these little flat channels and things. Anyway, you don't want to take the second entry long there. It's just too risky, and you just rejected this level. You don't have a lot of space there. It does come down. Now, when it does come down and give you a triple test, I think that's more reasonable because now it looks like there's a little micro range. And from the triple test, you do have room to the high there. So that one is reasonable. The high or low, no, you don't want to take that. It goes right into the high. And then now it looks like we have another one of these little micro channels here. I'd say probably like this. Getting a close outside right here. We keep getting these little micro channels, and they keep playing out, which is why I have this big wide channel drawn, because it does seem like overall there is a bullish bias in play, and we keep going higher. Now, obviously, this is weird when you have a big gap like this in this price action, but there you go. You kind of have this. It looks like a two-tiered channel, but it looks like most of the price action has been in this lower half. You can see this midline kind of being where the highs are there. So we just need to come back though and get a bounce off of it, I think, for a really good setup. There is 3 swings here. You have 1, 2, and 3, but so it does have like some confirmation there, but I would love another swing just to really confirm it. I would have really liked it if this triple test touched the level, and then I would have made that a green arrow, but because it didn't, I have to make it yellow. We weren't quite back. And hey, good to see you, Jarvis. Good to see you, Project Panic. Welcome, as always. So that's kind of how I saw the price action so far. I have 0 trades today. I don't know if I said that. I have 0 trades. All the trade setups I see are a yellow arrow right now. I didn't see anything I really loved. But the other thing was I was working on some stuff with the new indicators. And just a quick announcement on those. The new indicators are live. Working out a few of the kinks. But everything is good. People are having a good experience using them. They're included in the school membership. So I updated that. And I will be making a new video for the school about page soon that kind of shows some of it. But you'll see I put in here Freedom Algo, NinjaTrader Toolkit, and Indicators. That's now, it used to say coming soon. That's now included. This isn't the price of things. This is just like me giving some estimated value. Right now, the price is still $99 a month or $9.99 a year. The price is increasing on October 8th. So I do want to let you know that. I actually can even write what it is increasing to. Give me 1 second. All right, I just wanted to edit that real quick. So I wrote it here. The price is going to be increasing to $127 a month or $12.79 a year on October 8th. So I want to let everybody know that. It's going to happen on October 8th around 10 a.m. Pacific time, right before we start our live Zoom call that day. We have a live Zoom call today in the community. If you join, you can see it here. It'll be linked. So you can join that Zoom call, and I'm going to go over some of the indicator settings, how they work, all the functionality. And we're going to have another one on the 8th. And right when the one is starting on the 8th is when the price is going to change of the community. So I wanted to let you know this because if you join for $99 a month or $9.99 a year, whichever one you choose, you can always just join for $99 a month and then upgrade to a yearly later if you want. But when you join before this date, you lock in this price. So it will stay $99 a month for you as long as your membership stays active. Now, obviously, if you cancel, then then you come back later and the price is higher, it will be higher for you. But if you get in at $99, it stays at that price for you. But it will be increasing on the 8th. So if you wait until after the 8th, that's how much it's going to cost. So I'm letting everybody know this in advance. I'm giving you notice. I sent out an email yesterday. This is just my music playing, by the way. I sent out an email yesterday to the email list, but I wanted to, and I made sure I just posted out a like a YouTube short and put it on social media and all that. Trevor, good to see you. So everyone should know about it, but I wanted to give you notice there. Yeah, exactly, Jarvis. So it's locked in. It's locked in. So basically, the way it works is your pricing tier won't change. So if you're paying $99 a month, you can upgrade to annual whenever you want. And the benefit to upgrading to annual, there's a double benefit. So I'll show you. So if there's a classroom thing in here called the Freedom Collective. This is for anybody who upgrades to annual. It unlocks immediately, or if you've been paying monthly for more than 90 days. This is a benefit where we do an extra monthly call. You also get your color of your name changes in Discord to show that you're somebody who's like more like that's been dedicated to everything longer. You've probably gone through the whole course, all that sort of stuff. And then also you get there's an extra Discord channel you get access to where it's just people that are in the Freedom Collective. So this unlocks automatically for you after 91 days in the community, but also it unlocks right away if you upgrade to annual. But the other benefit to upgrading to annual is that you get 2 months of the year free. So there you go. Yeah. So you're locked in at $99 a month since you're already a member, and $9.99 a year. That won't change for you unless you like cancel or whatever. So just letting you know that's how it is. Zulus, what are you saying? What are you saying, yikes, about? Did I do something weird? Let me know what are you guys saying yikes and oops about? What did I do? Give me 1 second. I gotta look at something. Give me 1 second, everybody. I'll be back in a second here. Hold on. Where? Oh, okay. So I got a scare for a second there. I thought maybe I shared something really like, I thought maybe I shared something on the screen, and I was like thinking like, what could I have sent that would have been weird, you know? But I don't think it was. It's no big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. All right, cool. All right, I'm just checking. I think we're good. All right, yeah. So Zulus, let me know. Yikes. Was it about the price? Were you saying yikes about the price increase? But again, remember, you have until the 8th to still sign up at the lower price. That's probably what that was. So let me know, Zulus. Yeah, basically we've added a bunch of features and more stuff over time. Like, so the Freedom Collective, that's a newer feature. Extra call, extra support. There's also the new tools are part of the community, so that's been a bonus addition, and it's just included in the membership. So there's just a lot more that that I've been doing with the community and adding. Updated sections of the course, updated master classes. It just keeps getting better and better. So, yeah, for sure, Jarvis. I appreciate that. Yeah, it keeps getting better and better in here. And so, and that's the thing, like, at 99, it's definitely undervalued, right? Like, it's worth more than that for, like, everything that's involved. I just know that. I just know that from, like, knowing, like, what I had access to when I started and all that sort of stuff. And so, my plan is to keep making it better. And that's also why that's why I stopped doing the, for a while I was doing, like, I used to have, like, a VIP, like, mentorship where I would do more, like, one-on-one and all that. Yeah, my indicator's on the chart right here. So that's this, you see it every day, this toolbar up here with the ATR, take profit, these numbers, all that stuff. Yeah. Yep. I am always, it's always on, I've been using it on my chart for probably like almost like a month now, something like that. So you've been seeing it. I just, it just hasn't been released until yesterday. I don't have the second entry indicator turned on right now, because I just personally just look at the second entries on my own. The indicator is really meant for people as they're learning to have like a better, to be able to spot things better, be able to spot the second entries better and all that. It just helps with spotting it. But eventually you want to just not use it so that you can like spot it on your own and just kind of naturally see it. That's how I do it. But I'll put it on I can put it on the chart when we do our call in a little bit if anybody wants to check it out or whatnot. I mean, I guess I could put it on now. Hold on. Doesn't, just so you can see it. Let me just see. It's going to move my trend lines, so I have to just bear with me a second because it takes, I gotta move some stuff. Okay. All right, let me all right, so I just put it on. It's going to make the chart look a little chaotic. But it also, I don't know why, but for some reason whenever you add to your chart on you guys have probably seen this, whenever you adjust like an indicator or a drawing tool on NinjaTrader, sometimes it moves your trend lines slightly, so I just have to very slightly adjust that. But you can see it here. You can see what it's doing. You can see it's tracking new highs and it's tracking new lows. And it's plotting them, so there's a first entry, second entry long right there. It's not one that I'm going to trade, but it's there. So you can see it. If we go like down here, you can see like earlier, here was a new low. This is actually the trade we talked about earlier, so let me move this. Because remember, someone asked me, hey, isn't that also a second entry? Yeah, it is. If you see here, new low, because it's a double bottom, new low, and you have a first entry short, second entry short, it's the lower high after the failed breakout that I said is also a second entry short. There it is right there. And you can see it was tracked. And it shows you in advance, like, if one of them is forming. So you'll see this in advance. I made actually a new video of this in the course. So I'm actually going to turn that, I'm going to turn it off now because it's, I don't personally like to keep it on my chart, but I created it because it will help everyone else. And the reason I created it is because the ones that were out there before that I had used, so there's one, I've used another one that worked okay, but I found that there was a few things that it was doing with the counting that I didn't like. So I wanted to make one that had my own logic. So that's why I created a different one, because I didn't like some of the logic that was in the other one that I had already used. And then there's another one that I didn't personally use, but somebody else had shown me that that would track two different types of counting methods. Because there's a different counting method that Al Brooks uses that I'm not very familiar with, but it had that as a built-in feature and stuff. And that one actually looked pretty cool, but I didn't even really like look at that one too much, but so I can't really speak to it, but I wanted to create one that was pretty simple to use and everything. So that's what I created. Made it easy. But the main feature, so that's a helpful feature that comes with it. It has a different counting method and logic than some of the other ones I've seen out there. And then the other thing is like the this part of the toolbar, this is telling us how big these signal bars, how big these candles are in terms of high to low, low to high number of ticks. So this is like a 7-tick bar. And it tells you if it's green, it means that it closed in its upper 1/3. If it's red, it means it closed in its lower 1/3. If it's yellow, it means it closed neutral middle 1/3. That's kind of how that is. So that way, while you're trading, you can see here, for example, like this is telling us there's currently 3 ticks in this bar right here, which you can see if you measure. It'll be 0.75 points because that's 3 ticks. So you can see there's 3 ticks right now, and it's saying that it's red because where the price currently is near its low. And so what it's going to do actually is adjust in real time. So if we watch this bar, let me zoom in and you'll see. This is one of the features I really like about this. As you watch this bar, if this bar changes and it goes up 1 tick higher or lower, this will change to a 4. So right now, and you see how it's changing to green? It's because right now, if the bar closes up here, it will be closing in its upper 1/3, so it changed to green. So that dynamically adjusts. And you'll see this will actually adjust in real time. It probably looks really small on your chart, so I'm going to zoom way in here so you can kind of see it. Then I tried to keep the numbers really small, so now you can see it's a 5. I'll zoom out again. Because I didn't want it to be like super annoying to look at. So now you can see it says that the bar is actually 5 ticks. And it's still red because it's currently looking like it's going to close in its lower 1/3. So it's tracking where the close price is. So we'll watch and see what this does here. All right, so it's a 5-tick bar. It's yellow because it's still in its middle 1/3. The number's yellow. So basically the idea is like, let's say we were going to go long. Okay, now it closed and it closed yellow. You don't have to try to manually calculate if the bar is a qualified signal bar because it just tells you right there. So if we know we're only going to go long if it closes in its upper 1/3, we don't have to like take out our measuring tool and track how big the bar is. It just tells us, okay, it closed in its upper 1/3 or not. So very, very convenient. The ATRs, these are adjustable. You can change these. I just have it defaulted to 7, 14, and 21 so I can track the ATR. And I have the take profit target, which this is in ticks. So right now it's telling me the ATR is below a 2. So it's actually telling you, it basically makes a calculation of what is half the ATR in ticks. So typically I won't go for less than 4 ticks on a scalp, but that's what this is doing. It's telling me, and it gives you a decimal amount so you can round, right? So like if this says, 4.97, you know that basically the ATR, half the ATR is almost at 5 ticks. But so you would know that. So it just kind of helps you have that so you know which ATM strategy to use based on your scalp target. And you can adjust which ATR value it's looking at. It doesn't have to be the 21. It could be the 14, or you could even use something else like a 9-period ATR or a 36-period ATR, whatever you want to do. It's adjustable in the settings. So anyway, I'm not going to get too much more into it because we'll talk about that on the call later. There's other features that are in there, but yeah. And also the color, currently the EMA and the tick counter are just defaulted to this, but I'm going to make them adjustable so you can change the color. I'm just getting that resolved. So all good stuff. If you have any questions on it, if you're in the paid community and you have questions on it, just wait till the call that we're going to do soon. Or post it in the school community and I'll address it on today's call because I can go over it in way more depth. If you are not in the paid community and you have questions about it or about the paid community, just drop them in the chat and I'm happy to also address those. All right. Okay, give me a second. I got to go check on something real quick. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, what was the question there? I see. Do I have a lot of people in the community? No, it's not that huge. It's pretty small, actually. So, it tells you right here on the page. We have 43 members. I think technically it counts me as a member. So 42 members, I guess. I think that's how that goes. Pretty sure it counts me as a member, even though I own it. So, but yeah, 43 members. So it's a really nice, small community. When you join, there's a lot of things that you get. So you also get access to the private Discord, the chart updates. So we have a pretty active Discord that, I mean, I have a Discord that's in the link tree that you can find in the description of my videos and stuff. But there's not really much happening in the public channels there because almost all the activity is in the private channels that's called the paid school members channel. You get access to that when you join the school community, and that's where like I'm the most active every single day. And then also the Freedom Collective channel. But those two are only for the members. So so the public Discord that I have, you won't see a lot of activity in there just because we're mostly active in the paid community section. But yeah, thanks for asking. Appreciate that, MJ. And I don't know if you were here from the beginning or not, but I was just talking about how the price is going to be increasing on that soon. So just to reiterate real quick, it says it at the bottom of the page now. You can start now for $99 a month or $9.99 a year. You lock in that pricing if you join, but then the price is increasing on October 8th for new members. So if you join, whoops, did not mean to click on that. Hold on. Price. All right, I accidentally hit edit. I meant to write this. So I'm writing this here. Start now and lock it in. Good grief. What is it today? Oh, classic. All right, sorry. Put it. All right, anyway, this is what I was trying to say. If you start now, you can lock it in for $99 a month or $9.99 a year. If you wait until it's happening at 10 a.m. Pacific time on October 8th, I'll change the price. So if you join before that, your price will only be $99 a month or $9.99 a year. You keep that pricing as long as you join before this date. If you wait until after this date when the price changes, that will be the new price. So anybody that's already a member gets to keep their pricing at $99 a month or $9.99 a year. They just keep that forever unless they cancel. And then, of course, if you cancel and leave the community, and then later you rejoin, you end up having to rejoin at whatever the price is. That's the way it works. And the idea is to, like, you know, I've had it like lowered and discounted for a while, so now I'm starting to increase because I've added so much stuff to it now that the value is just there. So so that's how that is. So I just wanted to make sure that I was clear on that. If I'm repeating myself, it's because I know some people join the stream later. So I just I'm sorry if I have to repeat myself a couple of times. You know how it goes. Yeah, I'm a scalp trader. So the way that I do it is I'm in and out of trades pretty quick. I'm not usually in trades for more than a few minutes unless I have a runner that keeps going. Then sometimes I'm in a trade for longer with the runner. But the scalp trade usually happens within just a couple of minutes or even less than a minute. Just depends on the way the price action's moving, and you know, hopefully that made sense what I just said. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Sorry, give me just one quick. All right. Okay, cool. Hey, if you're here, definitely smash up the like button. We only got 10 likes right now. Smash it up, fam. The goal right now is to get to 6,000 subscribers. I'm not even doing a like goal. I just want a subscriber goal. 6,000. That's the goal. I guess we should always have a like goal, but today we have a call coming up after this, so I don't think I'll set a goal for the likes. I just want to get to... The goal right now is just to get to 6,000 subscribers. But really, the big thing right now is just check out the school community. Check it out. I'm going to make a new video for the About page. I think I'm going to do it today. So I think later on today, I'm going to make a new video for the About page. Just going over, because the one that's on there is a little bit older. It doesn't go over all of the features, some of the changes, some of the newer things. So I want to make sure that I make a new video for it. I did update some stuff on it. So I added some screenshots and things. Got any other questions for me? I got to look at something real quick on my screen, so forgive me, but I have to pause. Or not pause, I have to block the screen for just a second. Wanted to check something real fast. All right. Never mind. But yeah, I will be updating the About page soon. I'll update I just updated this down here. I will update the video soon. I did add some new images here if you want to see just like some screenshots from inside where I showed some student wins, people that posted wins, and just kind of what that looks like. I blocked out everyone's names just for privacy's sake. Same thing here. I have some testimonials, another couple of wins there. A couple of screenshots from inside, you know, what's in here. These are older screenshots. You can see that it's been active for quite a long time. But I will be updating the video soon. It's going to be simple. It's going to be just me showing like what's all involved. That's all. All right, so We're looking a little sideways here. So when we have these trends like this, where we have the move up, close outside, new high, and then we get sideways, you want to draw your little range. Be aware of this. No, I don't. So I don't live stream in Discord. That's not what I do. The way I do it is I post what I call chart updates. They look like this. So I post chart updates throughout the session, throughout the trading session in Discord and in here. And then we're able to have discussion around the way that we're drawing trend lines and all that stuff. Sometimes I'll take a screenshot of a trade if I get like the screenshot off in time where the scalp is fully like done or like whatever. So, anyway, I'll take screenshots, show this, we'll have discussion about it, and that's more so how it works. It's like we're having a whole discussion during the trading session around what's happening with the price action. And the idea is that the way it works is you go through the course in school, you learn the strategy, and then this gives you a way to learn in real time afterwards. So every day you can verify your chart setup, how you're drawing your trend lines, and it gives you a way to still trade on your own, but have guidance around, what's happening with the price action. Are you looking at the setups the right way? That sort of thing. And that's how it's meant. It's meant to basically teach how to do this on your own. So it's more like guidance than it is like, it's not like a copy trading setup where I'm like live streaming the trades and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes, like, as price action's happening, I'll say stuff like, I'm going to expect a new low after this, so I might look for a setup there. I would only be looking for longs if this happened. Like, sometimes there'll be discussion like that happens before things are setting up. But it's not necessarily like, everything happens so quick in the market in real time. Like, it's not really feasible for me to, like, draw out a bunch of predetermined ideas and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. Especially as a scalper. So BBM, there's a couple of disadvantages. All right, so you don't have to use NinjaTrader, but this is what I would say. So you can see here, I use what's called the 2000 tick chart. So it's the ES 2000 tick chart. You want to be on a platform that allows you to use the 2000 tick chart. So like I know we have one member in our community who uses Sierra chart instead of NinjaTrader, which is fine because you can use the 2000 tick chart there. So you can use other platforms. The problem though is that if you're trying to use, like, let's say TradingView on a time-based chart, it's just not going to line up with the same way that I look at the market. Now, you can still learn the strategy and everything, but it's not going to line up the same way because a 1-minute chart's going to be different than a 2000 tick chart and whatnot. You can still use the strategy on a 1-minute chart, but you're going to have, I think it's a disadvantage with reading the price action, but also you need to have the functionality to do what's called automated trade management orders, where you can enter on a stop market order and have it automatically take profit and move your stop loss and stuff like that, because it's really crucial to scalping. So that's the thing. NinjaTrader you can get NinjaTrader for free, by the way. Like, they have a free option, like a free plan option. It charges a little higher commissions, but they have that as an option. So it's not too hard to get set up on NinjaTrader and whatnot. What platform do you currently use to trade? I'm not sure what you mean by with my membership. I'm just saying that, yeah, like, if you don't use NinjaTrader, like, if you use NinjaTrader, it's obviously the ideal. Plus, I just built new indicators and tools that go with NinjaTrader that you get as just a membership bonus. So you get them included with your membership. So that's another thing. If, like, you're using NinjaTrader, you get the tools that I built that are specifically for this type of trading. So I think that that's another really big benefit. So yes, you can use another tool, but I think that it's more ideal to. Okay, so I don't know anything about their platform, to be honest, so I can't really speak to it. So you'd be able to still trade with that. Your data might not line up exactly the same. Here, actually, I'm going to look something up real quick. Some of those platforms, let's see. You can, by the way, I'm almost positive, but I need to double check. I'm almost positive that you can use Top Step X on NinjaTrader. I'm almost positive. So you actually might be able to use NinjaTrader to trade through that. But I don't know if there's any issue with like data or any of that sort of stuff. I don't know. I've never tested it, but a lot of times you can connect those types of platforms to NinjaTrader. So that's an option. All right, so let's see if this trend line comes into play now. This is that big trend line that I drew. I'm going to zoom out real quick. From the low all the way down here through these anchor points up to here. So now we're going to zoom back in and see, does the trend line come into play? Let's find out. Does the giant trend line come into play? Or is it slightly wider? Which it could be, very slightly. Because it would still fit fine, like just very slightly wider off of this anchor point right there. So let's just zoom in and watch. Oh, you can't. Okay, well, it's weird because I just Googled it and I found articles saying that you can. So maybe you used to be able to and you can't now. I don't know. So anyway, I can't speak to it too much, but I just did a quick Google search and it does. On my side, let me see. I'm gonna look right now because I mean, there's articles on it on how to do it. So are you sure that it doesn't work? Because I mean, there's literally articles, like more than one, about how to do it. I think there might even be one from Top Step itself. I've never used that, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's one of their recommended platforms. Yeah, look, right here. I'll pull it over. It says it right here. This is from Top Step's website. They say right here, NinjaTrader 8 is one of their recommended platforms. Oh, they're different? Top Step X is a trading platform. Okay. They built their own platform called Top Step X. They only allow... Oh, oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, okay. So, oh, that's weird. So they, on their help articles on their own website, it still shows the other recommended platforms. If I were you, I would reach out to them and ask them. Because that seems weird that they still have help articles showing that. But you might be right. If they switched it to only using that platform, then yeah, then you might be stuck only using that. I'm going to try to widen this channel just to see if it's even possible that it fits. I mean, it's really stretching the realm of possibility if I do that. But it's not outside of the realm of possibility that if this holds here, that trend line could be confirmed like that. I'll adjust the top side of it after we see what happens. Got this little short-term downtrend from this level. If it keeps going lower, then we'll just rule out that big uptrend and we'll just have to say that these were just slightly wider channels that all got closes and moves to new highs. It's kind of funny because you expect when it's moving like this for there to be one big wide channel, but it doesn't appear that that's the case. Unless this continues, unless this bounces here. All right. Ah, I see. Some people are grandfathered in. Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. I see. I don't know. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So, what are these companies trying to be like Apple? I always talk trash about Apple because like they make so much of their stuff only work with their own platform. And it's like these companies, it's just like, I just think it's so annoying when companies do that. It's like they have to make everything their platform, no open source, no like connecting to other things that you prefer. It's just like, it's so annoying. Like they try to trap you into their ecosystem. I don't like that. I like flexibility, but I'm a nerd and that's why I like to use, like I've only ever owned an Android phone because it's open source. I get to choose what manufacturer I want to use. I can modify things like, you know, whereas like if you use an Apple product, you're stuck in their ecosystem with whatever functionality they want to provide to you. You know, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but that's always been my criticism of like Apple, for example. And it seems like this would be my criticism for a company like TopStep doing that. It's like, oh, you guys are going to really restrict people to only using their platform. That's kind of cheesy because, like, if you sign up for it and you've paid money, you're now stuck in there unless you want to, like, you know, lose money or whatever, cancel it. I just think that's kind of corny. Yeah, BBM. But what people are saying is that it's a grandfathered in type thing. So it might only be for older accounts that you're allowed to do it. I'm not sure. Again, I don't know. If I were you, I'd reach out to their support team and ask them if you're allowed to use other platforms or if it would work or whatever. But someone else in the chat, where was it? Slam a Ding Dong, one of the best names I've seen in a while, said that you can't and that he or she has already tried multiple times. But, yeah, anyway. Gotcha. Thanks for letting us know that, Project Panic. Appreciate that. Yeah, so there you go. It's a long way for us to get to the conclusion that no, you can't. There are some disadvantages, it looks like, of using that type of platform, but yeah, there you go. So you would still be able to use and learn from the strategy and it would be the same. The only difference is that your chart might look slightly different because of the way the data feed providers work, and you wouldn't have access to some of the tools that get included with your membership. But that might not matter too much. Like, for example, Project Panic uses Sierra Chart, and he has no problem, and he's a member. All right, so let's see. Do we have any more questions? If you got questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. So we'll see if this trend channel holds. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. There's a bunch of ways that you can use Ninja. Enzo, it's a few things. So one is already, you can see it on the chart already. So the toolbar at the top is custom. So from here over is all custom. These are custom drawing tools, custom measuring tool, you know, custom text box, all that. These 3 ATR values get included, and those are adjustable and custom. The take profit target for your scalp is adjustable. It's a calculation based on whichever ATR you choose. I have it based on the 21 right now. It gives you this timestamp. It also gives you this countdown timer, and it shows you the bid and the ask line, so that you don't have to look at like a depth of market or anything. You can just see where the bid and the ask currently are. It shows you that with this red line and green line. You can't see the green line right here right now because it's overlapping with this, but you can see it right there. So it shows you the bid and the ask. It shows you a countdown timer, or a countdown of how many ticks are left in the bar. Counts down from 2000 because it's a 2000 tick chart. It also shows you these numbers, which are the size of the actual bar. So like if I click on this bar, it'll tell me that the candle size is 14 ticks. So it also adds a 21 EMA. But it shows you the this here, like the number, the size of the bar, and it shows you that it's green if it closed in its upper 1/3, yellow if it closed in its middle 1/3, or red if it closed in its lower 1/3. And here, let me pull up something real quick. And what I was gonna say is that you can adjust some of this. So you can't so I'll just show you. Or actually, let me just look. So you can adjust the ATR. By the way, you can adjust that take profit ATR multiplier. You can change the math of what it calculates if you want to use a different strategy. Like right now I have it set to half the ATR of the 21, but I could change it to 1.5 or whatever I want to do. I can also choose how many bars it displays. How many bars back it displays for these numbers. Right now I have it defaulting, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It'll show me 9 bars back the number below. I could make it do like a bunch. I could make it show me like 30 if I want to see. That is just meant to also help me see when I'm entering a trade what size stop loss I'm going to have, that sort of thing. There's also an extra indicator that comes with it that plots second entries. So second entry longs and second entry shorts, new highs and new lows, and where you count from. So it helps you spot how you count for second entries so that you can start to learn it. That I don't have on the chart right now, but I did show it earlier in the stream. So it's all included as just part of your membership. Basically, it just makes price action trading easier. Another thing it does is makes it so when I scroll on my mouse, it does this. It zooms in and out. And if I right click, it allows me to go like this. Because otherwise you have to press Control and click to do this. Or the mouse wheel would just scroll backward and forward, I think. And you have to zoom in with like using Control and all this other stuff. So it just makes the functionality a little easier to navigate. The drawing tools are also different than the default NinjaTrader drawing tools. So hopefully that all makes sense. They just work a little bit better. That's all. They just, I think they work better than what's in the platform by default. This range ended up not really coming into play that much. It almost looks like it was more just like up here. This little tight area. Like this. So, let's see what happens here. Let's see if this trend line holds, and then we'll find out if it's going to stay in play. Yeah, for sure. It just makes life a lot easier when you're trading this style. So basically, I just came up with what do I want for myself to use for my trading, and that's what I built. That's it's simple as that. I was like, man, they would be really nice if I could see how big the signal bars were and if they were valid or not, so I don't have to calculate it, right? Because before it was annoying. Like, let's say I wanted to go long. I'd have to wait for I'd have to be really tracking how big the candle is. Like, I'd have to go, okay, the candle is, 7 ticks right now, and I'd have to really keep an eye on it. And then I'd have to go, okay, for it to close in its upper 1/3, it's going to need to close, like, up here somewhere. And I'd have to, like, really be, like, tracking that. And then if, like, at the last minute, the candle added a couple extra ticks, like, I'd be all out of sorts. And sometimes it's gotten me in trouble before where I entered a trade thinking that the candle closed in its upper 1/3, but it actually closed in its middle 1/3 because it was too fast for me to really calculate it properly. And then I ended up getting into a trade that wouldn't be ideal, and I ended up taking a loser, or I got a winner, but it wasn't a safe trade. And I don't like that. See right here, and I have it error on the side of middle 1/3. So you can see this is a 7-tick bar. So, it's closing, it's saying it's closing its middle 1/3. If this was an even number, like an 8-tick bar, I have it error on the side of the middle 1/3 so that it, to remove ambiguity. But anyway, I know right off the bat if I can take a long there, which I can't because it's a yellow bar or a yellow number. But the thing is, if I were trading this in real time without this setup, I might have set my stop order there because it looks kind of bullish, and I might have been like, oh yeah, that looks like a long, and then turns out my signal bar doesn't qualify. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, it's really been a big thing for me. I've been really enjoying using it, and I've used it now for a while before I released it. I've used it for several weeks. I think I've used it for probably like a month or so, or close to a month. And then I finally released it to the community yesterday after I got the last kinks worked out. It's pretty straightforward. I have a couple of videos about this, so let me see if I can find them real quick for you. I know I have a few videos where I talk about this on the channel. So if you go to my channel, here, let me look. Go videos. If you go to my channel, I have this one that I released recently. It says tick charts give you an enormous edge in day trading. This one is like a 6-minute video. This will explain part of why I do it. Another one that I have is... I know I got another one down here. I think this one, tick chart guide. This one also covers it pretty well. I have a shorter one down here, 2000 tick charts, 2-minute video. I also talk about it in the course, the free course, which is right here, that has actual sections for my paid course. But I mean, the short answer is that a tick chart, a 2000 tick chart is based on 2000 transactions per candle. So 2000 trades happening between buyers and sellers, and before it prints a new one. And a time-based chart, there's no delineation on how many transactions are happening. So on a time-based chart, you could have a 1-minute candle with 4,000 transactions and a 1-minute candle with 500 transactions back to back, and you wouldn't have any way to really verify or know. You can look at volume, I guess, but it's, I think you get more detail out of the way that the price action prints based on number of transactions. Like when you see a candle like this with 2,000 trades in it, and it opened on its high and closed on its low, that's very aggressive price action. There's probably going to be some follow through there. So it just helps give you some nuance into how the price is going, but then you can see it losing steam down here, and then it reverses at the trend line. So I just think you can see more information, and that's crucial for me as a price action scalper. You just can see more than you can with a time-based chart, in my opinion. There's more nuance. So that's it. These strategies also work on time-based charts. But I just think that like the fact that a time-based chart is just, the criteria for it printing is just time itself versus actual transactions. And I think there's more information on transactions. And same thing with the overnight. Like when you come into the overnight, you really start to see this. In the overnight session, so this is where the market opened in the overnight. This dotted line is where the price closed yesterday. So this bar right here is the first bar in the overnight, right here. This green bar. Well, here's the thing. The market opened right here on this green bar. So on this chart, if you look at that, there's only 88 bars in the overnight because it takes a long time for 2,000 transactions to happen in the overnight session. So it takes the actual speed at which the bars print varies. And that is kind of a cool thing because it helps you see how much volume of transactions are happening in the market. Whereas on a time-based chart, it's going to just print a bar every minute, even though there's barely any movement and barely any transactions. So I just think it muddies the data with the time-based charts. So that's my opinion. And that's my experience. I just answered that about the 2000 tick chart. It's really just about the nuance. So a 15-second chart, again, it doesn't capture all the nuance. And sometimes on a 15-second chart, you're going to have a lot of transactions, and sometimes you're going to have a small amount within a 15-second candle. And that can muddy up the data of the price action for me. Like if the price came down with 2,000 transactions in a 15-second candle, let's say. Like, let's say this candle was a 15-second candle. And then this next one was a 15-second candle that only had 50 transactions. Well, it's not that significant that it moved down there for me with only 50 transactions. You just get less. It's just the information is not conveyed in the same way. It's just like, it's kind of like if you were doing a bar chart or a line graph of some data. The way the chart is portrayed is going to be based on the way that you have the inputs. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of a good example of this, but my point is that there's more nuance that you get from tick charts, in my opinion, than there is on time-based charts. If I pulled up a 15-second chart, the volume of each bar is going to fluctuate, and the number of transactions in each bar is going to fluctuate more dramatically at a lot of different intervals. Whereas on the tick chart, it's always 2,000 ticks. It's just the speed at which it prints changes based on how many transactions are happening. So that's a lot of great nuance, because I might have an interval where I've got like a few 2,000 tick bars that each print in like 5 seconds. And that just shows me that there's a huge amount of transactions in that area. But then I might have one that takes 3 minutes. And that's like, okay, well, there's not a lot of people transacting now. Volume has died down. And yes, you can use regular volume charts too. The problem I have with those is that if somebody comes in and does a transaction with like 1,000 contracts, it can like mess with the candlestick printing a bit. And, you know, one whale transaction can like make the data kind of funky on those. So that's just my opinion. I think that it's better to have the individual trades, the individual transactions. The volume itself doesn't fluctuate that much. Like if I hover over each one of these bars and click, you'll see the volume on this bar was 25.66. The volume on this bar was 27.61. This one was 26.98. This one was 26.66. This one was 26.78. Like, so you can see that the actual volume itself, this one was probably pretty big, 27.23. The next one was almost the same volume though. So the volume itself isn't really changing that much on each one of these bars, because it's based on 2,000 trades, and just there's an average amount of volume on each trade typically. So hopefully that all helps. So it doesn't look like this trend line is really going to hold here. So I thought that maybe by widening this, we'd have some sort of confirmation, but it just doesn't look like it wants to work with us there. So you know what? We'll zoom it out like this. Treat this like a break, like we've had a break. And what we want to do now is start to evaluate if there's any sort of supports or anything down here, which I don't know yet. We got to be patient because we could start going lower here. That is an equal low, so you could treat that like a new low has been made. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up here, everybody, because I got a call coming up with the paid community. So again, if you want to join that call, you can. You just have to sign up for the paid community. The call is in about 15 minutes. So if you sign up for the paid community, you can join that call live. We're going to go over the indicators and stuff a little bit more, answer some questions, do some different stuff there, maybe a little bit of ironing out some of the kinks and whatnot. So you just go to the School About page. It's in the chat. It's also in the link tree, and you can join. And again, last reminder, if you join now, it's $99 a month or $9.99 a year, and you lock that in because the price is increasing on October 8th to $127. But if you join before that, you will keep your pricing at $99 a month. You won't have the higher pricing. So just letting everyone know that. So you have time to decide on that. But I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you. And I will see you all tomorrow.